They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Army Private Jacob Newcomer Kiehl was born on November 28, 1891 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. His father, Jacob, was an engineer and firefighter, and his mother, Mary, stayed home to raise 7 children: Elmer, Benjamin, Mary, Jacob, Wesley, Ephraim, and Ella. During his childhood, Jacob lived in rural Lancaster, a bucolic setting where he likely passed a simple life filled with hard work and family. Eventually, Jacob and 2 of his brothers, Ephraim and Wesley, found work at Armstrong Flooring in the city. Jacob worked as a linoleum maker. Jacob, ever the dutiful son, contributed half of his paycheck every week to help support the family. On May 14, 1918, at the age of 27, Jacob enlisted in the Army in Ephrata, PA, along with his brother Wesley. On May 16, 1918, 2 days after enlisting, Kiehl was sent to the Columbus Barracks in Ohio. After his training on August 3, 1918, Kiehl boarded the Leviathan en route to Europe and the front with the 56th Infantry of the 7th Division. On August 11, Private Kiehl arrived in France. Kiehl was transferred to the 47th Infantry, 4th Division G Company after a few weeks in France. With the 47th, Kiehl spent significant time on the Western Front. Private Kiehl's job was to constantly advance to the next objective. The general orders of the 47th were to attack the hostile positions, exploit its successes by advancing northward, and organizing the defense for the western banks of the Meuse River. With this objective in mind, Kiehl and his unit spent the better part of 3 weeks on the front lines, engaging in combat with rifle and bayonet. Kiehl and the 47th Infantry saw action in Annemasse, Saint-Mihiel, and Mouzagone. On the morning of September 26th, Kiehl was part of the most terrific barrage of the war. The American barrage against the enemy lasted for hours and poured a destructive fire on the enemy front. The 47th Infantry made its way north, supporting and fighting on the front line for several weeks. Then, on October 12th, the German enemy threw upwards of 1,000 shells in the area of Bois de Forêt. The Americans responded in kind, but the enemy still managed to launch over twice as many shells as the Americans over the next few days. It was here in the Bois de Forêt on October 13, 1918, that Kiehl was exposed to gas. Private Kiehl died of gas exposure on October 19, 1918, after 6 days in the hospital and only a few weeks away from the end of the fighting. His father chose to bury his son in France. Jacob's remains were transferred here to Mouzagone Cemetery, where he will rest forever. In Lancaster, his mother, Mary, unveiled a doughboy statue dedicated to World War I soldiers from the 7th Ward in Lancaster that sits in front of a middle school in my school district. Jacob, you and I share Lancaster, Pennsylvania, the Red Rose City. We share the Lancaster experiences of Central Market, the bustling downtown, and the views and smells of beautiful farmland. We also share the experience of coming to a new place far from Lancaster and seeing firsthand the similarities and differences of this beautiful country. I wanted to bring you a piece of our shared home of Lancaster, so here are some stones from my backyard, a little piece of Lancaster here in France. Your sacrifice and duty are not to be underestimated or forgotten. I am honored to remember you, and we in Lancaster are honored to remember you. Merci.